I'd like to express my condolences to the families of the 34 victims of the Russian missile attack on Sumy. My thoughts are also with the more than 100 people who suffered injuries. And of course, I wish them a speedy recovery. An attack with ballistic missiles targeting civilian places in a city centre on Palm Sunday could not be called otherwise than a war crime. And as you know, a similar attack happened in Kryvyi Rih shortly before. Now, there is an interpretation put on these events as some kind of targeting mistake. If you target civilian occupied cities, you are bound to kill civilians. What was the mistake? Was another city supposed to be struck? Are we to believe that Russian missiles are so imprecise that they can't hit the right city? No, I think this is a cynical response by President Putin to America's goodwill and to the willingness of Ukraine to agree to an unconditional ceasefire from which we should draw conclusions. Namely, that Russia has not yet reduced its level of ambitions. It still wants to deny Ukraine the right to exist as an independent nation. That it still wants to conquer Ukraine. Of course, they would prefer to do it by peaceful means. When Putin says peace, he means that he demands the victim of his aggression, Ukraine, to capitulate. That will not happen. And to convince him that it will not happen, we should increase pressure. And I hope President Trump draws the right conclusion. In the current overall challenging geopolitical situation, enlargement remains, of course, at the front of EU's policy agenda. The Polish presidency supports a merit-based enlargement of the EU, and now more than ever, welcoming new members is a geostrategic investment in peace, security, stability and prosperity. The objective of the Polish presidency is to make overall progress in the enlargement process, both in the eastern direction and with regard to the Western Balkans. Ambitious enlargement policy is something that we have been tirelessly working on since the beginning of the presidency, of course hand in hand with the Commission. I concluded 2024 with a visit to Albania, and at the very beginning of 2025 I had a chance to host Commissioner Kos in Warsaw. The EU enlargement was, of course, at the core of those talks. I am happy that we are here today, together with Prime Minister Rama and Commissioner Kos, after a very successful intergovernmental conference with Albania, during which the second cluster of accession negotiations devoted to the common market was opened. The chapters we have opened today are vital for Albania's economic integration to the EU internal market. They cover key economic areas. The required reforms will lead to increased economic compatibility with the EU, increased trade opportunities, and will also make Albania more attractive for investments. I congratulate you, Prime Minister Rama, and your government on your efforts and clear dedication to the EU path. And I have to repeat myself, the fact that the overwhelming majority of the people of Albania support the path you are on is a positive inducement for us to speed along with the negotiation process. I commend Albania on being a reliable partner in the field of security, a NATO ally and a staunch supporter of Ukraine. I congratulate the citizens of Albania in particular because today's conference marks a very important step towards Albania's integration into the European Union. The EU is a good, safe and prosperous future, as we in Poland have experienced since 2004. Those who have left the EU are already regretting it. Of course, it will require a huge effort and general social involvement, but I assure you that it is worth making the effort. I hope that in the coming months we will be able to host more IGCs with other candidate countries. We have ambitious agenda for the rest of our presidency, including with Ukraine, Moldova, Montenegro and others. I am sure that in such a strategically important issue, as the future shape of the European Union, we will find a common denominator. Again, I congratulate Prime Minister Rama, and again, I will publicly say I appeal to the authorities of Hungary to stop vetoing both the European Peace Facility and the opening of the first chapter with Ukraine. Thank you.
Thank you.